or Google, try to practice whatever they have learned in the video that they have watched. Example, perhaps they want to use YouTube, how to, search for OER materials, or they want to use Google in order to search for OER materials. But for those who can do this activity, they're welcome, to do this activity.
Sure. So 15 minutes for this activity?
Yes, 15 minutes.
Okay. So participants, you have 15 minutes for this activity, and as soon as you complete the activity, please let us know through the chat box.
Thanks.
Thank you.
For those participants who can, enable to do this activity, if you have completed this activity, you may share your work in a WhatsApp group so that others also can, have a view on that. Okay, so now let me move on to the next activity. Actually, the next activity is just a continuation from the previous one. The early one, we have just used this OER as it is. But for this second activity, we will do some adaptation, a very minor adaptation. There are a few steps that I have listed here on the screen. First, you have to go to this particular site. cledio.com, which enables you to do some online video editing. Here on this particular site, you may choose this cut feature. Okay, there are many features there in order to do this video editing. We can, since we're just doing it for for the sake of exercise, can just go for the cut feature. And then you have to upload your OER video, okay, they have used for your activity 1 into this platform. And then you can select the content that you want to keep in this particular OER video. The sections that you want to keep are indicated by the green box. Okay, in a short while, I will show you how you can do this. Then once you have selected the sections that you want to keep, as highlighted by the green box, you can click cut. And then you can, after that, you have to click download. So when you click download, the file, the enhanced or the revised file will be saved into your machine. And then once it has been saved into your machine, you can upload the adapted video into your course page or into your personal blog. And then as usual, once we have uploaded that, you have to provide attribution for this OER. And since you have adapted this video, you have to give attribution to the original license holder, and also you have to provide your adapter license. And you have to generate the license from this particular site, Creative Commons. And then finally, you may print screen the page and share your work in a WhatsApp group. Okay, so this is the steps you can follow. Actually, the purpose of this activity is just to, just to show to you how you can do some, editing using an OER video, and how you can attribute, the outcome of this video. I hope some of the participants can do this activity. This is just basically continuation from the earlier activity. And for this second activity, once we have completed this activity, you will have the video, the adapted video, and then you need to have this attribution. So the attribution will have the attribution for the original creator of the video, and also your adapter license, and also the title for your new work, for the adapted work. Okay, so I hope some of the participants can try this. For those who can't find it difficult to do this activity, you may continue to to do searching in OER search or YouTube or OER Commons or Google in order to to search for these OER materials.
So Dr. Nanta, how much time
Okay, this one I
you
can give
want to?
another 15 minutes.
Another 15
But
minutes, okay.
another 15 minutes. But I will, in the meantime, I will also will present. I will show to the participants how they can use this online video editing tool, cledio.com. So.
Yes. This is what I want to request also, because again, because we are working from the office station, we have certain restrictions on the systems. So most probably most of our participants might not be able to do such kind of activity. In the meanwhile, if you're saying that you may demonstrate this cut feature, different softwares available. So far we have used Bandicut. We were using
Mhm.
Bandicut software for cutting large videos into the smaller chunk of the
Mhm.
videos. So if you may demonstrate this, it's called Celidio.com.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if
Okay.
you can please demonstrate this for us.
Yeah. Yes, I
Yeah,
will
Noreen,
demonstrate.
that will be very interesting because even I don't know this one. So it will be very
Okay.
interesting to see the
Okay.
Yeah,
demonstration,
there,
how
there
that.
are plenty of tools out there. I
Yes.
selected
Yes.
this because it's easier to use. Of course, they have free version, but when we use free version, there are many limitations. But even the paid version is quite cheap, not that expensive. So in the future, perhaps we can explore this tool. Okay, but now
Yes.
I will show you how you can use this tool. Okay, so let me
Yes, please.
stop the sharing of the slide. Okay, just give me a few seconds. Okay. So now I will share the particular site. Okay, so I hope you can see the website now on your screen.
Yes, we can view your screen.
Okay,
The
so this
website
is
is up.
cledio.com that enables us to do some online video editing. And of course, this is they have these free features, but if you want to use some enhanced or advanced features, we have to go for paid version. Okay, for our purpose today, for the purpose of training, there are few features here. Merge, compress, resize, cut, slideshow, rotate, and so on. But the focus, as I mentioned earlier, is just to do some cutting. So what you can do once you are here on this side, you can later, the participants can try other features. I just focus on cut. So I click cut. Okay, so you will have new page displayed. Okay, now you have to choose the video. Okay, when you want to choose the video, you can choose from your desktop or laptop, or you also can choose from Google Drive or Dropbox. Okay, so for my case, I will choose from my what do you call my desktop. I have one video here. Okay, so this is my own video. Okay, so I have uploaded. Okay, so it's uploading now. So everything is done online. So we don't need to install any software in our machine. So once you have click cut, so you have to upload the video from your desktop, or if the video is in your Google Drive or in Dropbox, you can just select from that particular location. So it's uploading. It'll take some time. I think the video is quite heavy.
Dr. Nanta, I hope that after cutting the video and downloading the, that small chunk that we have extracted out of this long video, the quality of the video remains the same.
Yes,
Is it
remains the
true?
same. Yes,
It
yes,
remains the
remains the
same?
same.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So Nanta, it was written slideshow. So the video can be converted into the slideshow. In the bottom, it was written like you clicked on the cut part, but it was
Yes.
some slideshow.
Yeah. They have a few features, including the slideshow. I didn't try that yet to try that feature, but if you
Okay.
see that label, it was indicated slideshow. It means we should be able to create slideshow from from the videos.
Dr. Madhu, there are certain features who are for free, and you may use such features while going online. But for premium features, I guess they charge something.
Yes, yes, they have
Yes.
some.
So they have they price for their premium features.
They
There's
have.
another software, Bandicoot. We recently used that Bandicoot for cutting large videos because initially we were recording the videos for like 45 minutes. At the moment, we are on the, we are recording modules not longer than like 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes video.
Yeah.
So we are
Okay.
actually doing it. But we
Okay.
are very concerned. We are very, very concerned that when we are using any kind of software for cutting along videos, it should not damage the quality of the video.
Yeah. The quality should remains the same.
Yes, good quality should remain the same, especially such courses like where we are demonstrating any software or we are demonstrating very the values or something like this, formulas. We are being very particular about it. The quality must not be damaged.
Yeah, true. One thing good about these online video editing tools, is very clean and very neat. We don't need to install any software in our desktop or laptop. But of course, we have to pay, for the service. They are free features, but it's quite limited. Okay, so I already uploaded the video. It's doing some pre-processing. Okay, so the video has been been pre-processed. Then you can see it's been loaded into that editor screen. Okay, so do you see the green box here?
Yes. Yeah. We can.
Okay. The green box is the sections that I want to keep. So the episodes are here. So I just, if I want to have other episodes to be included, I just drag the box. Okay, so whatever inside this green box will be retained, and whatever sections outside of this green box will be cut. Okay, so what I will do, I just for demonstration purposes, I just keep some of sections. Okay, what I do, I just go for the first few episodes of the video, and then you see that button here, the green color button with the label cut.
Yes.
Okay, so when I cut, so whatever outside of this green box will be removed. So so now you can see, I will click cut. Okay, so the software will do this cutting, and we have to wait for a few minutes.
Dr. Nanta, is it particularly for the videos only? Or we can
Yes,
cut
it's
the
for
audio as
video. For
well.
video.
For the video,
If
because
I'm not mistaken, is for video.
okay, okay.
Mm.
Because there are a few websites as well who provide the same
Mm-hmm.
service for the audio cut as well.
Okay, okay, that's good.
Yes, you can cut the audio because sometimes you may create the OER, content in the audio form. So if you want to
Yes,
cut the audio
correct.
as well, such kind of, services are also available for the audio as
Mm.
well.
Yes, audio also is a kind of
Mhm.
OER that we can use in our teaching and learning.
So Nanta, we can also add, like suppose I have some OER video already in Google or somewhere in YouTube.
Yes,
What if
doctor.
it is under OER? I can take that and add on to this. Like you said, this is
Yes.
cutting, so
Yes,
I
we
can
can.
add also.
Yes, doctor can add. And if you have two OER videos that allows mixing or adaptation, doctor can bring that two particular videos here in this site, and we can do the merging.
Oh yeah, okay. You can
Uh,
do the remixing, which
yes,
okay.
we can do the remixing, but you have to be careful with the pricing because some advanced features we have to pay for the service.
Okay.
Mm. For
So there is
example,
a. Mhm.
yes, doctor.
There was a question from Zamir Ahmed that is there any license agreement for using such web-based apps?
No, no, because is everything is done online. But we have to make sure that we don't bring proprietary videos here in order to do the adaptation. So that is against the copyright law. But if it's OER video, we can just bring it here and we can do the cutting. And this site, they won't publish the videos to others. It's just for us. It can be, shared to the public domain.
Okay.
Okay, so it's doing the processing now. We just wait for a few minutes. But for example, for this cutting, I've done the first cutting. If I'm going to do the second subsequent cutting, I have to pay for the service. So these are the limitations, they have.
Yeah, these free softwares have this, what you call it, as a little disadvantage that they don't give you the complete thing to do it.
Yes,
One has to pay
that
for that.
yeah, that's the problem. But if the participants want to do some very basic kind of editing, for example, they just want to cut certain portions, we always can, do here in this particular site. Okay, almost done. So when we do any editing here, the original file will be kept as it is, so it won't be overwrite. Okay, while waiting for this process to complete, there's another video editing tool that we can use. They call it NCH software. Okay, so normally I will use this video tool. So if you go to this nchsoftware.com on their website, you can see this button download now. So you can use this. You can download the editor, but of course this is a paid software. They do have certain features given for free. So we can use this, but if you want to use some advanced features, available in the software, we have to pay. Okay, so done. Okay, so going back to that earlier video, so in clidio.com, so I have, the software already done the cutting. So once the process completed, we can just download the video. Okay, we can see the button download. So we just download. So it's quite easy to do this video editing via this particular site. Actually, when we are doing these adaptations of OER materials, it's quite fun and very interesting, when we want to bring two OER videos, we merge and then we put our own content. It's quite interesting, to do that. So that's the reason why I, prepared these tasks for the participants, because once you start doing it, I believe you will enjoy doing it. And we have these online editing tools that you always can use in order to, to re-edit your video. But just make sure don't bring proprietary videos into the site, in order to do this cutting or remixing. Okay, that's against the copyright law. Okay, so let me go back to the slide. The only concern is that when we are doing it for the first time, maybe we are a bit scared to do these video editing activities, because we might work. Our main concern is that, is it all right, to take videos from other site and merge the video with other materials, or to inject our own contents. The participants shouldn't worry about that. As long as you take OER videos, do the changes, and make sure you provide the correct attribution. Just make sure that the video don't have ND, okay, non-derivative label. If it has ND label as in its licensing scheme, then you shouldn't do any editing on that particular video. Okay, so just let me recap. For the second activity here, so I ask you to go to this particular website and then select the cut feature as I demonstrated earlier. Upload any OER video, or perhaps you can use the OER video from the early activity, and then select the content that you want to keep as indicated by the green box, and then click cut. So whatever outside of that box, green box, it will be removed. And then you can, once the processing has been completed, you can click download, and the file will be saved into your machine. Then you can upload the adapted video into your course page, and then you are now ready to provide the attribution for the OER. And since now we have done some tweaking, so please include the attribution for the original license holder, and also you have to provide the adapter license. In order to generate the license, you always can use the generator provided by Creative Commons at creativecommons.org/choose. Okay, so you participants can do this activity later at home, and you can share your work in a WhatsApp group. And when choosing this adapter license, as I explained earlier, you have to be careful with the kind of adapter license that you're going to choose. For example, if your video, the one you download, for example, if it is by NCSA, you have your adapter license must remain the same. It means it also need to be by NC and SA. You can't have other license, incorporated into this new enhanced content. But if your video, if the original video that you have downloaded is by, then your adapter license, you have few options to choose, okay, as indicated in the second row for the cells, for the green cells. Okay, let's say if your downloaded video is by ND, there is no adapter license that you can choose, because if you notice, ND is no derivative. It means you can't tweak the content. So that's why when I give the instruction, I say select the license that allow you to do tweaking. Once you have ND mentioned in the license, you can't do the tweaking. So that's why the whole cells are indicated in a gray color. It means you can't have adapter license. You can't have the adapter license because you can't tweak this particular material having this license. So if you want to tweak the contents, always go for OER materials having by NC, or by NC-SA, or by SA. But you have to be careful the kind of license that you can choose. Okay, so once, for those who manage to do this activity, so you should have something like this on your website, on your blog. So you will have the video, the revised video, and you need to have the title of your work, and you have to indicate that this work is being derived from. And then here you have to specify the title of the original work and also the original creator, and you have to specify the license adopted by the original creator. Then you have then after that you have to indicate the license that you have adopted for this enhanced version or the revised version. So there you will see there are two licenses here. One is for the enhanced work or the adapted work. Then another one is the one for the original work. So I hope participants can do this at home and can share in a WhatsApp group. Try to do this because it will give you the confidence in order to work on these OER materials. Because in the workshop, on the first 2 days, I just covered the theoretical aspects of OER. On the second day, I was focusing on the licensing, open license. So you have to apply whatever knowledge you have gained in the first 2 days. You have to apply. Of course, when you're doing it in the first time, you might feel a bit nervous, but don't worry. Okay, as long as you're taking OER videos, and these OER videos allowing you to do tweaking, you are on the safe side. And try to learn some video editing tools. Actually, if you ask me, it's not that difficult to learn how to use these video editing tools. I would say you need 4 to 6 hours, in order to learn on how to use these video editing tools. Furthermore, you're not going to use it for professional purposes. You're going just do it for amateur purposes. I mean, you're going to take the video and doing some crop or cut or merge here and there, so it should be okay for you to learn how to use video editing tool. Perhaps Virtual University Pakistan, I believe you have your own IT department or instructional design department that can help the educators or the lecturers in order to do this video editing. But sometimes it's good for us as academic, we ourselves are involved in this video editing. So we are more, satisfied when we are doing that. And when you have this skill, video editing skill, you can do this adaptation very fast and without the need to depend on IT department. Okay, so try to do this activity at home later when you have the time. And as I mentioned earlier, please be careful with the adapter license that you're going to choose. You have to make sure the adapter license won't conflict with the original license. So this chart is very important. As I mentioned yesterday, you have to print this, put it on your table. Once you are on board, fully on board with these OER videos. Once you are start tweaking the contents, adapting the adaptations, this chart is very important. Okay, so let me proceed. Okay, once you have okay, in the activity, I ask you to download the video in order to do some adaptation. Okay, in the actual practice, when you download a video that you want to use in your teaching and learning, you have to evaluate this OER video. The first step, as I mentioned earlier on my first on the second slide, first you have to search for the content. Once you have found the content, you have to do evaluation. When I said you have to do evaluation, it means you have to make sure that this OER video is aligned to your teaching and learning. And how you can do this evaluation. Basically, according to this particular site, a good OER material will be aligned to the curriculum or standards, describe the subject matter, support the teaching process, offer assessment opportunities, offer opportunity for the students to interact with this particular content, provide exercises and other practice activities, provide extension opportunities, and be accessible to all learners. So a good OER will have all these features, but I think it is impossible to find a video, OER video, that will have all these features, okay? That is pretty much impossible. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to evaluate the video, and then we have to determine the level of adaptation that we need to provide. The good thing is that there is a rubric or checklist that we can use in order to determine the level of adaptation that we need to perform on this particular OER video. If you can go back to the prerequisite materials that we have shared with the participants, in chapter 3, the details of these rubrics are given. So participants can use this rubric in order to evaluate this OER material. So this rubric is applied to objects. It could be video materials or any type of OER materials. It is designed to explain the subject matter. Because when we take this OER video for teaching and learning, definitely the subject matter or the domain area is very important. Then you can use it in order to rate how thoroughly the subject matter was explained or otherwise revealed in that particular OER material. And the score will determine the level of adaptations that need to be performed. So if you go back to that prerequisite material in chapter 3, the scoring is from 0, that's the lowest minimum point, and the maximum point is 3. So 0, it means the content is very weak or no value at all. Score 1, it means quite limited. Score 2, it means it's a very good OER material with some room for improvement. And it is a score 3, the highest score, it means it's a superior OER material. So if the score is very high, it means, let's say if score is 3 based on your review, then you there is no requirement to do adaptation. But let's say based on your review, the score is 1 or 0, then you have to do some adaptations, for that particular OER. So the details for or the rubrics or the checklist for each of these levels are provided in this in that prerequisite learning materials developed by Commonwealth of Learning. So you can use these as a guideline in order to determine the level of adaptations that you need to perform. The main objective is that you have to make sure after you have done the adaptations, all these objectives are fulfilled. But sometimes when you ask me, when you want to enhance your OER video, sometimes no need to have all these features, in a single OER. As long as it's aligned to the curriculum, describe the subject matter well, support the teaching process. If we have the first 3, I think pretty much we can help the students, in order to understand the subject matter. But if you want to go beyond that, you can have assessment integrated into this OER. Okay, so once you have done these adaptations, and let's say if you want to release this video to the public, then you have to do some quality assurance for that particular OER. So in order to do this, quality assurance, we have to make sure all these elements, shown on the screen are captured. Okay, so a good course, okay, no matter from what it is constructed, need to assure that it has a good content that will provide knowledge and skills to the students. It has a sound pedagogy strategies in place. Motivational strategies are there. It gives a kind of autonomy to the students, access to the learning environment, easy to access, and there are certain management strategies. So according to Cole, so these are some of the quality assurance elements that we have to take into consideration. But for OER materials, you have to go beyond these elements. There are a framework proposed by Cole. They call it TIPS framework. So it means in addition to these elements in this blue box, there are other criteria that we need to consider. And for that purpose, we have this TIPS framework that we can use it as a quality assurance criteria for OER. So the TIPS framework for quality assurance is a handy tool for ascertaining the quality of course developed from OER. It has some specific criteria to determine how these OER can be used. Okay, it has 38 criteria under 4 headings. Okay, first they have teaching and learning process. So there are a few criteria there, 16 there. Information and material content, 7. Presentation, product, and format, there are 8 criteria. And from technical aspect, system, technical, and technology, they have 7 criteria. So altogether, there are 38 criteria. And if I'm not mistaken, this 38 criteria has pretty much captured whatever elements mentioned in this blue box. So if you want to know the details on this TIPS framework, for this, in order to ensure there is a quality assurance for this OER, you can always refer to the link given on the screen, ocs.cole.org/handle/11599/562. Okay, later I will share the link in the WhatsApp group, or you always can go back to this to your prerequisite learning material that CEMCA has shared with the participants. You can go to the chapter 3. The link is given there, okay, in that particular subsection. Okay, so with that, I have come to the end for this session 5 and 6 for day 3. We'll have a Q&A session in a short while. Before that, some of the key points that I have covered here in this today's workshop. So we have learned on how we can, OER can be searched or sourced, evaluated, and used via the reuse, revise, and remix techniques. In addition, you have been introduced to a framework to assure the quality of this new OER. Okay, so basically the framework is TIPS framework, as I explained a short while ago. Okay, so that's the main points for our today's workshop. Okay, just to recap, in these 3 days workshop, so these are the 3 main objectives that we have to cover. First, to define OER and to provide advantages and challenges of OER. The second objective, which was covered on the 2nd day, explain copyright and licensing issues and differentiate 6 types of Creative Commons licenses. And finally, for today's workshop, find and evaluate OER materials and use them appropriately in teaching and learning. And some of the participants was not able to do today's activity, but no harm, you always can try later, and please share with us in the WhatsApp group. And we have 6 sessions altogether in this 3-day workshop. On the day one, we have session 1 and session 2, and the title was Introduction to Open Education Resources. And on the second day, we focus on the third and fourth session is on copyright and open licensing. And today, for the session 5 and 6, we will focus on finding and evaluating OER. And way forward for Virtual University Pakistan, when we into this OER, we can see ourselves from two perspectives, as a consumer and also as a producer. So as a consumer, we need to have certain skills, and the most important skill is video editing skills. These skills is very important because as a consumer, when we search for particular OER materials and we manage to get that OER material, we may have to do some editing so that it's aligned to our teaching and learning framework or philosophy. And we always can get our IT people to help us, but my advice is try to learn this skill because it's very helpful for us, especially when we're dealing with this OER video. But if you think that video editing skill is something difficult to master, I advise you to explore this H5P. H5P stands for HTML5 package. Okay, in short, they call it H5P. With H5P, you can inject interactive elements into your video. Of course, with this H5P, you can't do cutting of video or merging of video, but you can take the video as it is, but you can enrich the video by putting a quiz inside this OER material. So you have to, for that purpose, you can use H5P. And H5P is can be linked into LMS. For example, in my university, we are using Moodle, and Moodle, they have this H5P plugin. Perhaps you can check with your IT engineers whether they can install H5P into your LMS. If they can do that, then you can bring your OER materials and you can enrich your OER materials with many interactivity kind of activities. Okay, so the next step as a consumer, try to use OER in your course. Okay, try to take a few OER materials. Perhaps you can merge with your own content. If you have your own video, merge with your own content and give it to your student. Okay, another angle that you can see is a producer. Okay, as a producer, you can set up your own OER repository. You have your own OCW website. Perhaps you can have another website for OER. Okay, and of course, when you want to share your OER materials to the public, you have to determine the appropriate CC license that you want to adopt for these OER materials. So these are some of the steps or actions that Virtual University Pakistan can take in order to to move forward in this OER business. Okay, for post-workshop activity, I have a question. Identify and apply OER materials, preferably videos, in your own course, at least for one topic. Tweak or remix the contents and upload it into your course page. When you are doing this activity, please don't forget to provide the appropriate attributions and also the adapters license. I mentioned here the deadline is 13 October. And perhaps you can share your work in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so this is questions I have prepared for your post-workshop activity. And for those who can't do the first two activities that I have presented here, perhaps you can do this post-workshop activity. I think it's good to do this, at least you can get the confidence when you deal with these OER materials. Okay, I later in the WhatsApp group, I will share the online form so that you can evaluate this workshop. There are 5 or 6 questions, very short questions that can be completed in less than 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, so later I will share this in WhatsApp group, or maybe later I share in the chat area. Okay, so with that, I have come to the end for our today's workshop. Let me go back to Zoom. Okay, so I'm now in the Zoom. Okay, perhaps we can have a Q&A session or sharing of experience. Okay, there are a few questions there in the chat area. Okay, let me on my video. Okay, so let me go through some of the questions in the chat area. Okay, from Zamir, Mr. Zamir, is there any license agreement for using such web-based app? Okay, I think I already answered earlier. No, there's not any agreement because it's basically online video editing. We can use as it is. It may affect, another question, it may affect the copyright video ownership of the institute. As long as we take OER materials, we are on the safe side. Okay, uploading on the website means the video is going to be part of that repository of that particular website. No, it will be in on our domain. Okay, they won't publish or reveal it to the public view. Okay, and then another question, activity 1, not able to download the video. New and improved officer emphasize. I'm not sure which video is this. From Mr. Mudasir Ghazali. I think you was not able to download the video from that particular site. Okay. Perhaps you can go to OER Commons in order to download the video. Okay, so I think there are 2 questions here. Okay. Any other questions from the participants? Just to
participants, if you have any questions, we have this opportunity that we can ask question, or if you want to share your feedback or any other thing that you think that can be collaborated for future, any topic, any training need that you think is important, you may share your experience or your suggestions, please. Again, you can unmute your mic, or you may ask questions directly from Dr. Nantha. So we are waiting for your questions if there's any.
Yeah. Just to interrupt a bit, and Noreen, later if you can check with your IT engineers if they can install H5P in your LMS, because H5P is a very interesting tool. Is the concept is what you see is what you get. Okay, so it's easy for the participants to use that H5P tool in order to enrich OER materials. They can't do cutting, they can't do merging of videos. They can take the video as it is, but they can put additional interactivity inside the content. So very interesting.
So I'll check with the IT department. Dr. Madhu, have you seen the LMS you were requesting that you want to see the LMS of virtual university?
Yes, I went inside this. Yes, I went inside the LMS.
I would like to share. I would like to share that now we have revamped our. I don't know which LMS you have seen so far. You and Dr. Madhu and Dr. Manas. We have basically revamped our LMS, and we are going to launch this revamped LMS very soon, maybe from the next semester. It is more interactive. I'll check with the IT department that whether they have embedded this H5P into our new LMS or not, but it is more interactive for the students. We have this feature of, sharing the audios with the students, and they can share their questions in audio with us. We have changed the entire look of the LMS. So yes, we are upgrading our LMS, and from the next semester, most probably, You're going to have more interactive. So I'll check this H5P as well.
Nanda, this H5P, what you're talking about is only for the videos, or because the LMS view has the text material also. So what impact or what will be there for the textual material?
Yes, it supports video. Even we also can bring audio and also text, H5P.
Okay.
We can use that. And later, perhaps I can share via email. I can share few what you call materials that we have developed through H5P. I will share with Dr. Madhu. Also, maybe also can share with Noreen as well.
Yeah, sure, please, because I'll see maybe it is already embedded in the new LMS. So I'll check with them.
Yes. Here at Open University Malaysia, we using H5P because sometimes to teach our lecturers in order to use video editing skills, sometimes it quite, takes time. But with this H5P, easier for us to train our lecturers, in order to create or develop or to inject interactivity into these videos, especially these OER videos.
So how do you do for your textual material? What interactivity, if you can just give an example of that? Because
for example,
textual material...
We can bring a quiz, we can ask them to read, and then we can bring a quiz into the picture. We can ask them to do the quiz before they proceed to the next section of that particular text. And we also can have a slideshow. We can bring the text. We can organize the text into few sections so that it looks like a slideshow. So these are examples that we can use. But personally, I use H5P to enrich my videos. Later, I will share the videos with Doctor.
And Dr. Madhu, because Dr. Naveed Malik is already with COL, so actually in his supervision, we have made a small project for creating OER at a very in a very cost efficient way. So we use Camtasia basically, and we made a soundproof, very small kind of small soundproof room where we are using that Camtasia, and it has the facility to record, and plus you may add your slides. And as Dr. Nantha says, there is an option that if you are watching a video and at a certain moment you want to check that whether the learners have learned whatever you have delivered or not, so there are some pop-up quizzes. You can attempt that quiz, and then later on you can watch the rest of the video. All these options are available in Camtasia. So if you're interested, do let me know because I have worked in his supervision. So we have this opportunity to, coordinate on the Camtasia. It is a very useful tool for creating OER, and all that interactivity that Dr. Nantha is talking about, we can incorporate all kind of interactivity in Camtasia, and it is very cost effective.
Yes, true.
One way is to create a content which we are creating in the studio it is expensive, But if you want to create a content for your class, as we have seen the video that Dr. Nantha cut for on the Slido, and that is a video that has been recorded in his office, so we can use Camtasia, and we can bring all kind of interactivity in that.
Yeah, I have the experience of using Camtasia. A few years ago, I used Camtasia in order to, to create my own video. The good thing about Camtasia, it allows interactivity, same like H5P. For example, let's say if you have a video, 10 minutes video, on the minute number 3, you can put quiz. So student can't move to the next episode if they yet to do this quiz. So these are good instructional strategies that we can use, including for OER videos. So actually OER videos materials are very good because the contents is there. Someone already done the thinking for us. We just think how we can bring instructional strategies into this OER material so that the students can gain the benefit, or maximize from these, these OER materials.
Just a question which is not maybe related to the OER, but all these things will give us some learning analytics. Can we do that? It is inbuilt into it. Let's suppose I'm watching a video and at some point I get disinterested. I don't want to. And which are the points where the learners they get disinterested and then they don't want to watch the video. And then we have, if this learning analytics data, and then the videos can be further improved upon that. So is this has that facility?
Okay, Doctor. Okay, at OEM, we are using a Moodle LMS.
Yeah,
And
Moodle, yeah.
okay, Moodle, they have it comes with rich collections of data, which will contribute to analytics. For example, when I have a video that be injected with H5P, whatever happened in the video, including the students' interactions with this video, all these interaction pattern are captured by Moodle. And then we can do analysis. In order to do analysis, we have to create a front-end application in order to to determine what kind of parameter that you want to focus. So that can be done, Doctor.
Okay.
Dr. Madhu, in our new LMS, which is about to be launched very soon, we also have added the same feature.
Okay.
First of all,
Because
we
that
have
is
given, yes, we have given in the new LMS design, we have given 5 stars. So if the students are watching video, they can star the video. This is also an indicator that whether video is interesting or not. And second most important thing, as Dr. Nanta says, we have embedded such kind of kind of a design within the LMS that if students are watching in the video, they are watching for like first 30 seconds and they quit the video, or they watch the whole video. So when we have this data, we can analyze that what kind of response we are getting from the students. So yes, with our new design, our IT department will be able to analyze such things.
Yes, it's
okay.
good. When we are dealing with OER, when the participants are very confident with this OER, the next step is how they can bring analytics into the picture. Okay, but they have to be very confident with this OER first. Okay, once they have that confidence, the next stage is to think about analytics. Okay, that could be another future plan or way forward for Virtual University Pakistan.
Yes, we are about to launch the new LMS with the same, analysis technique. Our IT department can provide the data.
Okay, so
That's good.
but just 3 of us, we are interacting. And if
Actually,
anyone, yeah.
waiting for the
So yeah,
questions from the
so
participants.
questions from participants, I mean colleagues, if they have any.
There was one question that I just answered from Mr. Azim Raza. He said, ideas and expression of facts, can we copyright that? Cannot, it should be tangible, something that can be seen. Okay, if it's just an idea, we can't copyright that. I already answered that in the chat. Any other questions or inputs or feedback from participants?
I know colleagues were very much into the technology. The virtual university colleagues are very much into the technology. So maybe a majority of them, they were knowing what we were learning.
As far as I shared earlier, that OER is kind of a concept that all our faculty is well versed. But the second session, which was related to the licensing, we learned a lot from Dr. Nanta. So on the behalf of Virtual University of Pakistan and all the faculty who joined us, we were discussing yesterday as well, that session was indeed very, very useful, very informative, very technical, and we are happy that we have the video so that we can refer back again and again, because as I shared earlier, that our faculty at Virtual University of Pakistan is constantly engaged in creating the resources, whether it is the textual resource or it is the audio resource or it is the video resource. So the second session, Dr. Nanta, thank you very much. That was very,
Welcome.
very useful, very helpful. And we learned a lot. So on behalf of Virtual University of Pakistan, I really appreciate your efforts, and Dr. Madhu, especially you, Dr. Manas, especially Dr. Munawar Sultana, who get us on board for this training. So it was very useful. It is basically for us.
Yeah. Thanks. Glad to hear that.
Yes,
Just a moment.
yes,
I would
ma'am.
also, Noreen,
Yes,
just
ma'am.
I will take half a minute
Sure, please.
to thank Dr. Madhu and Dr. Nantha for all the effort and very good presentations. The way of communicating and learning, I think, was very effective. Well, I think our faculty, some of them might be doing some job of using OERs and incorporating or adding the links in their LMS. But I think this workshop will be very useful and was very useful in orienting people what different kind of OERs are available and how they can be used. I think it will be a big motivation for the participants to use at least, if not all, even if they use 20% or like that, I think that will be a good addition and will make the teaching learning interactive for the teachers and students, because one of the disadvantage of, and I would say that whenever OER used, uh, the best impact or effect can be obtained if that is made part of the assessment. Otherwise, we, the learners, if I say we, the learners, we do not care about the material which is not going to be assessed. This is a general tendency. So I would say that teachers of virtual university, when they use OER, they should incorporate it as a part in the assessment as well, maybe by adding 2 questions, 4 questions. One is quizzes on the spot, but the other is making it a part of regular teaching and learning. So I'm thankful to the CEMCA, thankful to Madhu for thinking it, and I'm thankful to Dr. Nantha for organizing it very well. From my side, that is all I would like to say, with the hope that we will continue to learn more. Thank you.
Sure, Dr. Munawar. So,
Yes, Dr. Madhu, I also would like to add another comment to this. Excellent workshop and training, and definitely what Dr. Munawar has said. We were not aware of using OERs like now we would be able to use them in our developing our videos and tutorial material for the students. Another important thing which I would like to reflect with respect to this training is that today or with this training workshop, we have learned about the academic ethics also, that whatever material is available in OERs, it should be licensed. Whatever we are creating for our students, it should be licensed. And we should make it a habit that we should stick to the academic ethics, that we are not using any material which is not licensed, or we should create an environment and for the students that the material which they are using through Virtual University of Pakistan is licensed material. So this is an important take home from this training session also. Otherwise, it is a very good, it was a very informative, very good, and very technically enriched workshop from Dr. Nantha. Thank you, Dr. Nantha.
Welcome, Doctor. I think what Dr. Said mentioned was a very valid point. And going back to Madam Munawar mentioned about assessment, if you notice on the first day and the second day, I prepared a quiz. You know, you have to go out of the Zoom and you have to do this assessment. That one I purposely did it in such a way that you have to do assessment, because assessment is very important in teaching and learning. Also in OER. So when we are doing OER, we have to make sure the assessment element is there. Okay, so what Madam Munawar says is very valid. You know, the assessment element is very important. So perhaps when we are doing this OER for virtual university, the assessment element is incorporated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Munawar and Dr. Said, for the kind words. Before finally Manas says bye, I must thank Dr. Nantha, Dr. Munawar, Noreen, and all my colleagues who I know very patiently were there throughout the 3 days and for 2 hours. So that's very, very important. A university grows, virtual university will grow when we know that we are learners. So all of you are, as Dr. Said pointed out, that what we learned was the ethics of it. So, and virtual university, when I visited the website, definitely, I mean, one has to learn from how much work all of you are doing it. So with these words, I thank each one of you. I thank the CEO of Virtual University. And Khuda Hafiz till we meet again. Manas.
Thank you very much, Prof. Madhu, and I really more inspired after these 3 days, the way we are communicating and the way we are practicing, and with a lot of activities. I am really thankful to Dr. Nantha. He come out with various activities engaging our all participants and colleagues from Virtual University. And I would like to also extend my heartiest thanks to Noreen for great information that they are going to launch their own elements, which is very much interactive and good that. And here I want to also put a note here. The Commonwealth of Learning also come out with a very very much interactive platform, that is MOOCkit platform, which is to launch various MOOCs and from various places. So this also, if you get any chance, you please visit, and all our colleagues need to visit to that MOOCkit platform, and that also integrated with the learning analytics. And the beauty of that, it is not only just used for the online education, but also we can use this platform for the blended learning approach through entire online. Blended learning face-to-face with online, and blended learning, another approach is what is called online and online. So here and online and online, that means synchronous as well as asynchronous. So maybe you like this one, and you can please visit, and some of the courses being offered, and some more courses in pipeline. So many people can get the advantage out of that. So with these words, finally, I want to say here to my all colleagues, we should learn from each other, number one. Number two, we need to practice open educational resources. While listening about open educational resources, we are feeling, okay, this can be done, this can be done, that can be done, this can be done. But unless or until we will practice, we will search ourselves open educational resources which have been available under Creative Commons licenses and other licenses, open licenses. At the same time, we need to also create our own open educational resource materials or resources using OERs. That is also another important aspect. We need to learn by doing, and so that's it. And as you said very nicely, the main key purpose of the open education resources, and it is again contextualized purpose. To it vary from country to country, but we need to agree on these. It increase our access to learning. it reduces the cost in the education, and it provides us the quality learning. So all these three things and purposes for open educational resources is very much important. And with these words, and I can say that this is just not an end of our collaboration or our collaborative learning environment. It's beginning our collaborative learning environment. So we can learn from each other, and only we can move towards the, I can say that, learning by doing. That is more important aspects. And with these words, thank you very much, and thank you Nanta, thank you Nurin, and thank you Munawar, Dr. Sheikh, and at last, or but not least, I can also extend my great thanks to our headquarters, my Vice President Dr. Balaji, and our IT head Professor Naved Malik, and but not least last, Dr. Parar, who gave me this opportunity interacting with you. Thank you very much.
Dr. Manas, basically that was the exact words I would like to add. At the end, it must be the beginning, not the end. And Dr. Madhu and Dr. Manas, Dr. Nanta will stay in touch, and we'll coordinate for more future collaborations.
Yeah, the WhatsApp group will be active. Yeah, the WhatsApp group will be active. I hope the participants can share their work in the group.
Sure, sure.
Okay, sure. Bye-bye. Bye, all of you. Stay safe, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Stay safe.
Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Yeah, yeah.